God damn.
Man, goddamn, goddamn is right, bro.
Man. Ugh.
man, man, oh man. Well, everybody, welcome back to another edition of NHP, man. Welcome back to another edition of your AEW pay-per-view post-show reviews, man, as we are on here today with the Wrestledream 2024 official post-show review here today for you guys, as we just got done obviously watching the show and witnessing the end. Man,
God damn.
well, man, we have it seems as if on this, year's episode or this year's Wrestledream, we witnessed the end of the full-time career of Bryan Danielson.
That's crazy, man. That's really insane. I saw this happening up to this pay-per-view, man, but it's crazy nonetheless, man.
It really is. It really is, man. And I honestly did not expect. I honestly I mean, not I honestly did not. I mean, I honestly did expect. I expected this to happen, but now that it has happened, it feels weird. It feels weird, and it feels weird saying that because, man, I mean, just to reminisce here with you guys for just a second, uh, it was, man, I mean, basically, bro, the whole time I've watched professional wrestling, obviously, you guys all know, but if you're new here and you don't know, I've been watching wrestling since I was 5, 2007. Didn't start watching on a week to week, like picking it up as an actual hobby and interest of my life until 2010. And Bryan Danielson debuted in 2010. And I remember watching him debut in the Nexus. And it's weird to say. It's so weird to say,
Mhm.
man. It's weird to say that the full-time career is finally came to an end after an amazing career. Obviously, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Um, and it almost feels like I've watched Bryan every step of the way, man. I mean, I know I'm not, I'm not old enough to be one of the sickos that watched him in Chikara and Japan and ROH and all that stuff. But man, I mean, literally, bro, it seems like ever since I've started watching wrestling, in a very very early 2010 on a week to week basis, it wasn't too much longer when Danielson debuted and he was in the Nexus, and then he got fired, and then I remember going crazy at 2010 SummerSlam with my buddies when he came back to be with Team Cena or Team WWE. I think it was called Team WWE. And there it was obviously off. And I remember all of it, bro. So I definitely tip my cap to Bryan Danielson. Man, just it's crazy. Like I said, now that I just said that out loud, it hits a little different. It hits a little different because, man, it's weird. It's weird. It's really weird, and obviously it hasn't fully sunk in, but it definitely hit a little. Just saying it out loud that the full time career is finally done, bro. But what an amazing career. And obviously, there's nothing too much that needs to be said on Bryan Danielson that isn't already common knowledge. But yeah, I mean, man, it's truly one of the greatest of all time, and easily one of the greatest of our generation.
Definitely, man. Definitely one of the best of all time. Easy. Bryan Danielson ascended himself to the top of everything, bro. Quality, promo, in-ring ability. He's got it all, man. And he proved it any and everywhere he went, man. So it's crazy that the full-time career is over. And it's unfortunate, but we still have him in general, so that's going to be nice. And that return is going to be insane. But it's crazy that he's going to be a once in a while attraction now, and that's crazy to think about.
It is, and I hope everything ends up going okay with him, and I really hope that if it is true about his neck surgery, then I hope he's able to get all that fixed and stuff like that. Because obviously, we have all heard the rumors about him having to go get neck surgery and all this stuff. It actually came from him, but nobody really knows if that's one of the famous Brian Danielson lies or not. But I hope not. I hope not, man. And yeah, I hope everything goes okay with him, bro. But it was crazy to see. And honestly, bro, what I thought they did tonight, I thought it was an okay show. I thought it was an okay show. Obviously, coming off the heels of Title Tuesday, I think a lot of things in AEW were at an all time low, or one of the all time lows going into this, and I'm happy to see them put on somewhat of a decent show here tonight. Obviously, the only thing that concerns me is what about after this? And obviously, we say this on every AEW pay per view review, man, but they put on a really good show, and it almost gives you hope that things will get better, and they never do. So that's obviously my only that's obviously the blaring concern here is I wish Mr. Pay Per View would learn how to book coming out of a pay per view and going into a pay per view. So, yeah, I hope I hope that I hope that obviously he can seem to regain that superpower back that he used to have and doesn't have anymore is Mr. Tony Khan. But I know I know a lot of people in AEW might take very very roughly to that and to people speaking ill of their boss, but it's the truth. And the company, I was appalled. I was appalled coming into yesterday's podcast. I was absolutely appalled at the state of the product. And again, I'm happy. I'm very happy to see them put on a good show tonight. That's what I always expect from AEW, and that's why I'm hard on AEW is because I always expect greatness because I know they can do that. And yeah, so um but yeah, bro, I mean, so I thought they put on a great show tonight, man, but I just really wish I really wish we can just start saying this coming out of every AEW show and not just pay-per-views.
Exactly. I want to say this going into a weekly show or coming out of a weekly show and going into the next weekly show. I want to say this all the time, not just for pay-per-views and then you say, "Oh, I hope they do well after this," and then we get 3 fucking unscripted later and we're telling you how they completely failed what they did in the last pay-per-view. So hopefully that stops. I doubt it. I don't have hope anymore. I'm completely hopeless at this point. So expectations are at an all-time low. So if you disappoint me now, then boy, they're really fucking up, man. But okay, it was a good show tonight, obviously. Tony Khan can do a pay-per-view, man. He just can't do anything else. So hopefully, shit steadies out, fixes. They have a good direction for a lot of these things. Again, I don't have any hope, but I hope to have hope, but I don't, if you guys get what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. But I
Yeah.
just hope all goes well, dude. I really does. I really do. Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. It is yeah, it's obviously a big concern in AEW of mine, obviously. Yeah, like I said, man, this was one of the most head-scratching weeks coming out of AEW television for me, and I just again, I hope they can take the steam of this pay-per-view and I hope they can take away from it and uh, book better dynamites because again, I want to be able to have a level of excitement and maintain a level of excitement when coming out of every AEW show and not just pay-per-views because Tony gets his rocks off when people call him Mr. Pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I don't want Tony
Hmm.
Khan to be Mr. Pay-per-view. I want Tony Khan to be Mr. Booker. I want him to be Booker of the Year Tony Khan again. That's what I want him to be. That's what I know he can be. And like I said on yesterday's podcast, and if he can't be that and he's burnt out, he needs to do something about it and it's as plain as simple as that. So that's basically that basically sums up what I said yesterday with more of a calm voice. But yeah, man, I mean, but I thought what they did tonight was a very good show. Yeah, I thought what they did tonight was a very good show. I thought they did a lot of good. I thought they did a lot of good. I thought the ending angle to the show was done absolutely insane. And of course, there was the head scratching moments in the show, but we're going to get to that in just
Mhm.
a second. And before we get to all that, how's everybody doing? And welcome back to another edition of NHP, and welcome back to another edition of your AEW post show review, man. If this is your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Monday after Raw, we are on here with Unscripted. Every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, we're on here with the news. And for the pay-per-views for both WWE and AEW, we are on here directly after with the post-show reviews. If you guys did miss yesterday's edition of the news, not available on all platforms for you guys yet, but it should be tomorrow evening or either tomorrow morning or tomorrow night, one of the two. Just depending on when my schedule opens up, that will be up on all platforms for you guys. But obviously, you guys will know I'll send out the tweets when it is out. So I should have Friday's episode of news as well as this Wrestledream review that you're currently watching on all platforms for you guys tomorrow. So again, if you guys did miss, or if you guys do want to check us out on all platforms, that is Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here. Like I said, Friday at 4 p.m. Central, and for the pay-per-views for WWE and AEW directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review, man. So, yes, also, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video to get your hands on the official NHP merchandise and the very design you see on your screen to commemorate the rebrand of the podcast with the NHP Next Chapter design, man. So, with that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are, here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show, and as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. How the hell are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just chilling out, man. Still taking the breather from the fucking eruption that was yesterday on the show. So, still that, and then you go to
You,
Twitter today, and all else is good. Your eruption was way more um explosive than mine,
I had to full
but an
on lay down
eruption.
after that, bro. That was crazy.
And then you go to Twitter today, and AEW fans are saying everything's going to be fine because they fired another person that isn't Tony Khan. That's the problem. So, you know how it goes with AEW, man. All is fine, all is well. You know how they go, man. But I've been good, man. I've been good. Just chilling, man. Just chilling. It was Wrestle Dream weekend. It was good. Show was fine, obviously. It's they're always good at their pay-per-view, so it was a good day. Um. And yeah, man, so I'm doing good, like Durante always asks. How's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How's everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing in the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good, man. Just chilling, dude. Just chilling. Enjoyed just chilled out today. Enjoyed some professional wrestling, and that was about it, bro. That was about it. So nothing nothing too much. Nothing too much, man. Nothing different than how I was yesterday. So yeah, doing good. Doing good, man. And yeah, so that is it. That's about it for me, man. But as Durante always asks, I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, naysayers? How are you doing? Whether you guys are here now or whether you guys are in the replay mafia, my guys, JT and JB, how are you guys doing? As always, and thank you guys, as always, for joining us, man. So, yeah, man, what up, naysayers? How are you, bro? How are you? Thank you for joining us, man. Um, so, yeah, um, man, so obviously, um, yeah, yeah, we might as well. We might as well. I, I don't feel it's appropriate to wait 6 days to talk about this. So,
Fuck.
I'm sure we'll talk about the. I'm sure we'll have more specifics and we'll talk more about this on Friday if any more specific information comes out as to why or whatever. But if you guys do not know, AEW's Jimmy Jacobs has. Did they fire him or did he resign?
He resigned, yeah. The fans are referring to it as a firing because, AEW
Yeah.
fans, but it was a mutually parted resigning from Jimmy Jacobs from, I think in his words, just being too burnt out.
I don't think it's Jimmy Jacobs is the one that's burnt out. Um well that's the first thing. But so it looks like Jimmy Jacobs and AEW are done, as Jimmy Jacobs is said to be the right-hand man of Tony Khan. And
Really?
he was, I guess, he was Tony Khan's right-hand man, apparently. And people love Jimmy Jacobs. People love Jimmy Jacobs, and all of the sudden, today, there is laundry lists of reasons why things are going to be better because Jimmy Jacobs is gone. I don't even know where people get their news from, but people are tweeting out he was the reason. He doesn't know who Okada is. I don't know if you've seen that one, but somebody I swear to
Yeah.
you, I can't make
Have
this
you-
shit up. Uh-huh.
I think you're talking about the full list that someone made of like
Yeah.
shit wrong with Jimmy Jacobs, and it was like not knowing Okada was one of them. One of them.
He scoffed at Takeshita. He doesn't like Daniel Garcia. There was a bunch
Yeah,
of
that was a bunch of, what was the one? He wasn't a fan of the AEW product before he got hired.
yeah.
Um, a whole list of like shit that like, where are you getting this from? Name
Like
your source, please.
please.
Please,
Yeah,
if you name your source, I'll be like, okay, you guys, but just like, dog. I know you're just saying shit.
oh, okay. I found the list. So he was Tony
Yeah,
Khan's
no.
right-hand man, which I
Mm.
believe Tony has said himself. Um he was a big reason for the rankings going away.
What?
Uh that sounds like a pretty fucking smart man to me. So
Yeah.
so
Imagine.
he had no idea who Kazuchika Okada was. Are you serious? Do you expect anybody to believe that?
Like, dude, the most random people, like, dude, everyone knows Okada. He's like Japan's biggest guy, like in the last 10 years. What are you talking about?
Mind you, no sources throughout all of
No,
this.
no,
There's not a single source named as to where any of this information was, other than Tony Khan did say on a media scrum before that Jimmy Jacobs was his right hand man. That was it. Um, he was not familiar with the product before coming in, nor did he like it.
nor did he like it.
So why would he come in the company? So
Like,
responsible for the Learning Tree program. He created it, not Jericho. Every single Learning Tree segment was Jimmy Jacobs. Jimmy Jacobs Jimmy Jacobs did the Festival of Friendship. Jimmy Jacobs is responsible and works hand in hand with Chris Jericho on almost everything. And you expect me to believe Jericho played a character that he did not create?
everything is Jericho, dude. He'll be sitting on the one character, and he'll be fucking trademarking it, shit for his next character. It's like, dog, that's just how Jericho's his own guy.
He's
He
one of
does
the
himself completely.
he's one of the most creative guys in terms of everything he does. Um
Is his. Like, what?
Full Gear 2023, the main event and how it was booked, which everyone hated. Again,
And
that had
I
MJF
didn't
in
hate
it.
it.
If MJF did not like what he was doing, do you think MJF would have? You don't think MJF wouldn't have said something? Jay White, you don't think? And the Full Gear main event, although there was a couple stupid parts to it, obviously,
I can't.
making Jay White, making MJF lose to an injured MJF. Other than that, the match was fine. So,
Yeah.
um, Which, I mean, I think everybody expected anyway, because they weren't taking the title off of Max for Jay White anyway. He did not want to push Daniel Garcia. He found it laughable when it came to pushing Garcia. Again, where is your source?
Where's your source?
He was opposed to having Takeshita win the ladder match for the TNT title. Bro, the Elite was going to hold all of the gold anyway. Jack Perry was winning that anyway. It made the most sense for Jack Perry to win it anyway.
It was a literal guarantee. The whole point of the story was for all the Elite to get all the gold. That was literally the whole point.
They were comparing Jimmy Jacobs leaving to Vince leaving creative wise.
Okay. Okay. I
Who?
think that'd be Tony Khan leaving.
Who is they? He was said to be Dynamite's top writer. Dynamite's top writer is Tony Khan. He says that on
Yeah.
almost every press release. He says that anytime he talks about himself as the head booker, head of creative, bro.
And that's the thing that fucking just gets me about this whole situation is this whole thing is people, oh, it was Jimmy Jacobs. He was booking all those shit dynamites. First of all, I thought there wasn't a problem in the first place. I thought everything was fine. Second of all, Tony Khan literally does everything. So, first of all, Dynamite is your flagship show. So, if he is booking shit, how how is that making it past? What the fuck's Tony Khan doing then? Is Tony Khan just not seeing what he's booking? He's on Twitter. He gets the reactions. So just doesn't make Tony Khan is literally wears all the hats. That is the problem with the company. So how would a writer go past him to make bad television? Dog, it all goes to Tony Khan.
An AEW talent was listening anonymously to the space and essentially agreed to all of this.
Who, where,
Yeah.
when, how?
And a small note. He notes something about Jennifer Pepperman, but then it cuts off. Bro, so again, we're sitting here blaming problems, we're sitting here pointing fingers, we're sitting here doing all we can to take the blame away from the guy who is responsible for all of it. They're responsible for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tony Khan. And I don't know how many times I have to say this. It is Tony Khan booking the shows, and nothing goes past Tony Khan. And again, like Sir K said, he's on Twitter. He sees the reactions. How long people been complaining about Dynamite? Because if I look at my clock correctly, we've been complaining about Dynamite for the better part of fucking 2 years. And you don't think that, he would have, if Jimmy was the problem, you don't think he would have, talked to him a little bit sooner or got rid of him a little bit sooner? If he's seeing all this hate and he's seeing all the fans blaming him, you don't think he should have looked at that and been like, whoa, why are they complaining about me when I gave the keys to the kingdom to my boy Jimmy over here? It's Tony Khan, bro. It's Tony Khan.
Always,
and
every
I'm
situation.
Go ahead.
Every fucking situation, dude. It's fucking Tony Khan, from the CM Punk situation to the general booking situation to the Cody situation to everything. It all goes back to Tony Khan. He is the boss. He is the CEO. Everything goes by him. Literally everything. He literally says all the time how he wears every hat in the company. So how can you put the blame on anybody but him? That makes no sense, dude. There's always someone to scapegoat, dude. I don't know how they call Jack Perry the scapegoat when AEW just scapegoats the most recently leaving person for the problems. Oh, CM Punk's gone. Oh, that's the problem gone. Oh, QT Marshall's gone. That's the problem gone. Oh, this person's gone. That's the problem gone. Oh, Jimmy Jacobs. It was him all along, man. He's gone. Dude, it's Tony fucking Khan. We've said it for years now. He's just like Vince. He is literally the same booking wise creative mind of Vince McMahon.
He is. He is. He's very similar in his ways of booking to Vince McMahon. And again, like you said, I don't know how we can sit here and call Jack Perry the scapegoat when it seems to be almost everybody in the company except for Tony Khan, who is scapegoated in these roles of the CM Punk stuff happens. Oh, it's the Elite, and it's Cole Cabana, and it's this guy, and Tony. It's not Tony's fault though. And then again, when Dana Massey left, oh, the merch is gonna
Hmm.
get better. The merch is gonna get better, and all this stuff. Merch tables still suck. Actually, today I was pleased to see what they came up with for the
Pretty much
Wrestledream
praised.
merch stand, because this was the best one in a while I've ever seen. The Wrestledream merch stand, if you guys were in Tacoma, Washington, you guys got a great merch stand. That was probably the best AEW merch stand I've ever seen. And Dana Massey's been
Oh
gone
yeah,
for how long?
fucking like it was like a year now,
Gotta be close.
and gotta be close. And their merch has been dog shit this whole time. Um, Luckily tonight they had the Brian situation, kind of piggyback off of and flood that merch thing with, which that was awesome. I would have been broke. I would have definitely bought one of those jackets.
Oh, that
So
bomber
good thing I
jacket was
wasn't there.
nice.
Oh yeah, I would have so bought. And it was like a limited edition. I would have had to have bought it, dude. I'd been so broke. So good thing it wasn't in Chicago. But dog, like, come on, man. It's always someone else's fault.
It is, and that is one of the whole cruxes of the problem with AEW to begin with. Man, is now Jimmy Jacobs is gone, and what are you guys gonna say now? What are you guys gonna say now? So Tony Khan's right hand man in creative is gone, and what are you guys going to say now when it comes to these bad Dynamite shows? Because if I'm a betting man, they probably continue. They probably
Oh, dude,
continue to be bad AEW Dynamites, and whose fault is it going to be then?
feel like because a lot of people, in in the wake of the Jimmy Jacobs leave, they want Will Washington to take his spot. They'll just blame it on Will Washington when Dynamite sucks. It's how it is. I know how they
Bro,
roll.
who is Will Washington?
Bro, like, who is he? He ain't nobody, dog. Get a writer in there, bro. I'm sorry. Get a team. You need a whole fucking team. A whole goddamn team.
You dead ass went out there and hired somebody from Fightful who has, to my knowledge, little to no creative experience, and you slapped him in your creative team for what reason? I have absolutely none. I have no I have no I have no guesses. What I
Isn't
have
he? Isn't he
well,
cousins with Swerve?
other than that, why he
Yep.
was chosen for a creative role and why any of his credentials suit creative in professional wrestling, it remains to be seen. Other than him being cousins with Swerve.
That's all it is. That's how you get hired, dog.
I don't know. I don't know, man. But with Jimmy Jacobs leaving, I wish Jimmy Jacobs the best. And we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see if Jimmy Jacobs was the problem. And if he was the problem, I'll, I'll be the first fucking one to tell you guys I was wrong.
Oh
But
yeah, I'll be
if I'm a
wrong,
but
but
if I'm a betting man, I guarantee you these problems don't stop.
nope, we're gonna continue.
And based off what we know about Jimmy Jacobs, he's a very cinematic writer. Does
That
does that sound anything like what Tony Khan would like to be looking for? Tony Khan doesn't want somebody to create cinema. Tony Khan wants
no,
himself to write down a bunch of matches that he would love to see and that his sicko fan base would love to see. That's all
like
he wants.
that's the thing. That's probably why he left. He's probably overstressed because he's got to think. He's got to wrap his head around all these fucking things going on because Tony Khan won't take the time to create a story. It's just match, 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 graphic, graphic. Um, that's all it is, and he probably wants to create stories. That's probably why it didn't work out.
Probably so, bro. Probably so. And I would not be shocked. But I hope we get more specifics on it, and I hope we're able to talk about it a little bit more in terms of the specific, legitimate reasons why Jimmy Jacobs left, and not handbooks that AEW fans are making to try to put the blame yet again on anybody else but Tony Khan. So
Every time.
the pre-show, we're not going to go over the pre-show extensively. Brian Cage defeat Atlantis Jr. for the ROH World Television title.
Good
Anna
lord.
Jay defeated Harley Cameron, which I seen a clip on Twitter.
What? Yeah.
The ref put Harley Cameron's shoulder down. I don't know why they
For the
didn't just
count?
do a camera cut to hide her shoulder being up slightly. No, let me just reach my hand over and push her shoulder down.
And then count to 3. Good lord, why is she wrestling?
The Acclaimed defeat MXM Collection, who they had Rico there. Um, um, and oh, sorry. The Conglomeration and the Outrunners defeated Dark Order and the Premier Athletes, as commentary was referring to this team as Conglomerunners. Does everybody just have to
Okay.
have a joint name with the Outrunners?
Oh, dude, Tony Khan loves his joint names, dude. Fucking Hookhausen.
Thunderstorm,
Out. Mm-hmm. This man loves his fucking combined names. Fucking A.
Hookhausen, Golden Elite. Well, the Golden Elite was before AEW, so I won't put that one on them. Hookhausen, Jerichohausen. What? God, I mean, there's been so many with Danhausen. Uh, oh God, FTR, dude, rated
Oh,
FTR, CMFTR, FT Runners, FT Career Riders. I mean, Jungle Hook. Oh, dude, there's been so many. But yes, the latest one is the Conglomerate Runners. Okay. All right. So they won their match as they won their match as yes, that is that was that for the pre-show. In terms of matches, in terms of segments, we got a segment with Mercedes Moné and Queen Aminata as they set up a match for Wednesday, as AEW fans were quick to jump and call this a story. This is what you call an angle that leads to a one-off random match on Dynamite, people, not a story.
oh, dude, if two people have a conversation, a single conversation with each other, that's a story to AEW fans. Oh, those two bumped shoulders in the hallway, that's the story. Like, no, that's called a program. It's called an angle. That's called a single segment.
Yep. Kyle O'Reilly walks up to Kazuchika Okada, you know, the guy that's Continental Champion that Jimmy Jacobs did not know who he was. That guy. Kyle O'Reilly goes up to him and asks him, he asks him, hey, Triple H, you got any spots open for us on the main roster? Oh, sorry. That was my script. Sorry. He goes up
Thanks
to
for dreaming.
Okada. You ain't lying, bro. Especially after shit like this. He goes up to Okada and he asks him for a Continental title match. How many times does Kyle
That's the story.
O'Reilly Yeah. How many times does Kyle O'Reilly? What exactly is the story, bro? Because the story that I'm seeing is Kyle O'Reilly asks so much. I mean, like a fucking 4-year-old wanting to put his hand in the fucking cookie jar. I mean, he begs
Mm,
for fucking title matches, and he always loses them. And he constantly goes up to champions, hey, how about you give me a shot?
yeah,
What?
yeah, fuck you. Like, like,
Like,
get the
no,
fuck
for
out of
real
my
though.
face, dude.
Like,
Get the fuck out of my face. Go do something for it, bro. Like, what the fuck? That's not how this works.
oh my god, man. So he goes up to he goes up to um so obviously he goes up to Okada and asks for the shot. Okada ends up giving him some roundabout answer and he ends up calling him a bitch, right? Typical Okada stuff, right? Kyle O'Reilly then
Mm.
says, "Oh, okay. Well, since you didn't speak that language, how about this one?" And he just hits him, and they start into a brawl as Christopher Daniels comes running up and he's screaming, "No! No! No! Not right now, guys!"
Dude, I swear to God, get that man out of a fucking management position, an on-screen management position. Dude, I cannot take him seriously, dog. If that was my boss, I would laugh in his fucking face. Like Tony Khan, like they do to Tony Khan, because dog, have some have some balls, dude. Fucking use your voice. Don't do that. Like, bro, what?
Dude,
Are you Casper the Friendly Ghost, bro? Fucking talk like an adult.
so he's. Dude, he's like, "Guys, not right now! Come on, guys! Not right now!" And he's like, "Wrestledream
Ugh.
starts in 2 minutes, and we have an historic night about to take place.
Ugh.
In two
Shut up.
minutes? I don't have time for this right now. Get him out of the arena." Christopher Daniels
Yeah,
is horrible
for
as
it.
a.
He's so bad.
Oh my god. It,
Dude, how is he more intimidating is playing a fake Triple H in fucking BT than he is in an actual on-screen management role on television? What the fuck, dude? Get this dude out of here with that shit. Just keep him in the back, dude. I'm sorry.
you need somebody that actually has a little bit of bass in their voice.
A
Um,
little bit
Ad,
of bass or height or something. Fuck,
um,
it's like me coming up yelling at somebody like, dog.
I mean, even you have a fucking deeper voice than Christopher Daniels does. I mean, you might even have him beat in that fucking department, dude. Because Adam Pierce, when Adam Pierce yells at you, you're getting yelled at. Okay,
Exactly.
Nick Aldis, again, what he
Yeah.
doesn't yell often. That's not really his character. But when he does raise his voice, he has authority in his voice. He has
Mhm.
bass in his voice. Like he was just yelling at Kevin Owens. He has authority in his voice. He has bass in his voice. He sounds intimidating. Christopher Daniels, bro, is absolutely he's absolutely nauseating as a on-screen manager type of role, man. But that was that segment, and the last segment on the pre-show before we get to the main card was Tony Khan comes out with Antonio Inoki's grandsons, just like he did last year. It's very nice of Tony Khan to do, but bro, oh god, if this wasn't one of the funniest segments of the night, first of all, why are you screaming? The whole promo. We're here with the sons of or the grandsons of Antonio Inoki, wrestling's greatest dreamer. And he
I was
goes,
fucking fighting to get those words out.
and he goes, we're gonna do Mr. Inoki's chant. I did not know they were gonna play a little lyric of the chant up on the screen. I just started laughing because as soon as he got done saying that, nobody said shit. And I thought that he expected them to know the chant. But then obviously they played lyrics up on the screen. It was Ichi ni Sandai. And they recite it the first time, and like everybody's off sync because nobody fucking knows this chant. And Tony Khan goes, "One more time." And the production did not play the lyric again for like a hot 10 seconds as Tony is just standing there saying, "Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. One more time. Come on, guys." And so they play it again. Everybody does Ichi ni Sandai, and Tony, and it was off sync again because again nobody knows this chant. And then yeah, and then he walked away. Tony Khan is hilarious, bro, because what the fuck was that segment?
Like, bro, what is with these cringe ass segments? Or last year when he was first talking about Wrestledream, it's dedicated to wrestling's greatest dreamer. Like, bro, just salute the big homie and fucking move on with your day, bro. Throw a graphic on the screen because you love those and call it a day, dude. No one knows this chant. What are you doing out there? You're just making it look like a damn fool again.
I'm absolutely, man, and I mean I get what you're trying to do, bro, but I'm sorry, Tony. Nobody
Oh
nobody
no.
knows the chant. You know what I mean?
No
And
one knows.
obviously, if you want to pay respects to Antonio Inoki, please, by all means, pay respects to
Yeah.
Antonio Inoki. Throw up a graphic, do a 10-bell salute, do a moment of silence, do something. Have his grandsons out there, introduce them again, or whatever you got to do. Have them say something or whatever, and move on your way. But man, it was such an awkward segment, and yeah, I mean, he's got his heart in the right place, but it just came off so fucking awkward, man.
Oh, dude, fucking Tony Khan, dude. That man does not belong with a microphone or a camera at all.
No, he does not. So, moving on to the main card here. So, the show opens up. The show opens up with the first match, Hangman Page versus Jay White. This one was a pretty good way to open the show. Um, we all knew this was gonna be a banger. It was just level of interest for me going into this. I mean, again, this is Hangman and this is Jay White. We know they're incredible talents, and I mean, personally, I would have opened the show with something different, but that doesn't something that at least has had a couple weeks to play out on Dynamite. But regardless, this was still a good way, I would say, to open the show with Hangman and Jay White. This was obviously Hangman's first time back in front of the Washington crowd since all the stuff he did to Swerve. So he was playing up to the crowd. He was playing up to the crowd huge in this one, man. And um they worked Hangman's left knee throughout most of the match. That was most of the story here. Man. As the match ended up, the coolest thing about the match was the ending. And that's not to say this was a bad match by any means. I thought it was a good match. It wasn't, it wasn't it wasn't nothing crazy. It
Hmm.
wasn't no sort of crazy banger type match, which again is why I wouldn't have opened with it. I personally wouldn't have opened with it. Like I said, I would have went with something. I would have went with some sort of feud that just people are more interested in on the show currently. But the coolest part to this match was the ending, and that was the Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat. He flips over the ropes and is immediately caught with a instant Blade Runner.
He-
That was one of the hardest things I've seen on AEW television in a long time. That was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. That was a clash of two finishers that are just made to be countered off of each other. It was
Mhm.
incredible. Jay White picked up the victory. Hangman was pretty pissed. So I guess, this feud is going to be continuing. As also, quick thing about Jay White's gear, could you please stop coming out in the robe? I don't like the robe.
Yeah. No, I don't like. I missed the leather jacket.
Yes. Yes. Or even if he did a jacket that was like that like ripped up cloth, almost like how his pants look, I think would look very
Mhm.
nice. But yeah,
Yeah.
the robe, man, it doesn't do it for me, bro. But I thought the match was fine. Again, personally, I would have opened with something else, um, just off fan interest. But the match was fine. And like I said, the coolest part about all this to me was the ending, which obviously that ending was an insane way to end the match, and I thought this was good. Like I said, Hangman lost, but I do expect this to go somewhere. Um, in regards to a continuation of the feud and or Hangman, I don't know, becoming more bitter or something along those lines. So yeah.
Definitely, man. Definitely a great match. Phenomenal fucking ending. Picture perfect. That was so smooth and so perfect for each other in their finishers. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the story, hopefully, a story where it goes next.
Next match on the card was Mariah May. It was Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's World Championship. Um, this one was okay. This one was okay. It was. I mean, it was good. It was good, man. It just. I mean, it wasn't nothing too crazy. Similar to the first match, bro. It wasn't really all that crazy. In my honest opinion. Um, so obviously, we all know there was a severe lack of story and care going into a match between Mariah May and Willow. Um, so the match, early on into the match, man, there was a pretty cool counter spot where Willow went to do the pounce on Mariah May, and she countered it with her headbutt, which I thought was very cool.
Hmm.
And there was the ending to this one was Mariah May went to do a Hurricane Rana off the top to Willow Nightingale. Willow countered her, had her up for a power bomb, went to power bomb her off the top rope, but as soon as Willow lifted up off the top rope, Mariah May flipped it around and got what she was looking for anyway in the Hurricane Rana. She capitalized on Willow, ran up, hit her with a running knee to the face, hit her with a Storm Zero, and that was that. Like I said, man, this match was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. As yeah, I mean the my level of interest going into this match was already very very low to begin with, man. As yeah, so um
Hmm.
that was that. It was another Mariah May title defense where they just continue to show us that they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. What was the point of having Mina Shirakawa show up at Grand Slam and we haven't seen her since?
Yeah, exactly. It makes no sense. If she can't make it, why would you do that in the first place? Why don't you just wait till she has an open schedule? So I don't understand what the fuck they're doing because they don't understand what they're doing. So it was a good match, man, but an unfortunate directionless path for Mariah May.
Absolutely. And speaking of Willow Nightingale, her ex best friend, Chris Statlander, ladies and gentlemen, we got the reason.
Dude, that's
They they did a video package on Rampage, and obviously I did not see this. It was either you or it was Logan that
I
sent
think it
it.
was Logan.
Yeah, in one of our group chats, and it was a video package where Stat was saying that she lost herself and she let Stokely get in her head, but she had to do what she had to do. And
So,
and
so you didn't lose yourself.
and then she says she found herself when Mercedes she came face to face with Mercedes. Oh, it must not have been. It must have been you then. Or
Yeah, I just saw it on Twitter. Unless I did, I don't think I sent something.
I thought I seen it in our group chat. Well, either way, they did a video talk and so she
Yeah,
said she lost herself and
it
she
was your
found
ass
her.
that sent it.
It was me. I sent it.
Yeah, yeah, it was your ass that sent it, bro.
Shit. When did I send that?
You- let me see, hold on. I think it was earlier, like this afternoon or this morning. It was. Give me 1 second. I just had it. It was. Hold on. Come on. Okay. What the fuck? Give me a second. At 5:16 earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't remember that. So, anyways, I genuinely don't remember sending that, bro. But well, I guess I did. So she says she found herself when she seen Mercedes and she's been fixed. She was obsessed with Mercedes, and that's why she got mad at Willow because she was mad at her for wrapping her mind around Mercedes too much. So she turned on Willow and she let Stokely get in her head. But when she realized she realized who she was again when she came face to face with Mercedes a couple weeks ago. I mean, what the fuck? I mean,
That
what?
is the most confusing garbage in the world. I turned on you because this guy got in my head, but I had to do it anyway, so oh well. But yeah, I'm good again. What are you, Hulk Hogan? Yeah, I got baptized, so
Yep.
I'm good now. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So as soon as Mercedes came in the company, she was obsessed with. She was mad because Willow was obsessed with her and wanting to beat her, and she got mad at Willow because of it because Stokely got in her head, but she had to do what she had to do. And she came face to face with Mercedes a couple weeks ago and she found herself again. And she realized that she's the strongest, most dominant woman in the division. What was the fucking point of all of that? Again, that was one of the best matches from All Out. And you took
Yeah,
credibility away from that in such a short time.
like dude, why are you even turning her face in the first place? Like,
That whole match at All Out was to solidify her as a heel. And you did that. She beat Willow, and it was a great match. Which, that's a whole nother problem in itself. The last time Willow was on AEW pay per view, she lost. And now she's getting a world title match? That's the first problem. And the second problem, going back to Stat, you just. Dude, you just turn heel and beat your best friend to solidify you as a heel. And your heel run going forward. And you have one face off with Mercedes Moné and you have your morals completely changed. Way to make no sense out of that, Tony. Way to make no fucking
literally.
sense out of that. Well,
Good Lord.
speaking of matches I did not give a flying fuck about, Jack Perry versus Shibata. You know, man, I get, I get Tony Khan respects Shibata a lot, and I get, he's overcome a lot of injuries and stuff like that, and he is to be respected.
Yeah,
But man,
he's
he is
just
just so boring.
he 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 is just really boring. He doesn't got the sauce, dude. I'm sorry. He's completely sauceless, dog. He's a guy. I'm sorry. He's just a guy. Yeah, there's no fire behind that.
Yeah, and man, I mean, God, I mean, we give Shibata a lot of slack, and rightfully so, man. But again, I don't mean to disrespect the man, or I know he's been through a lot and stuff. He went through a long period of being injured, but man, this was just fucking boring television, man. This was boring television, man. No disrespect, but damn. 90% of what this guy does, man, is just utterly boring half of the time.
Or like his nickname is the wrestler. Like, dog, can you get more generic than that?
Quite literally, I don't think so.
I
Um,
literally don't think so.
this match was boring as hell. This match was incredibly boring, bro. Um, Jack Perry in this match that has absolutely no heat to it is spitting in Shibata's face. What? These kind of acts should be saved for blood feuds. It seems like every other week on Dynamite, somebody is spitting in somebody else's face.
Like tonight, there was another spit in the face, which was, in the main event, and that one meant something. That was like, oh
Yep.
shit, it is about to go down. But you do it here, and it's fucking meaningless.
Yeah. Shibata puts Jack Perry in a sleeper hold. Jack rolls back and pins Shibata for the 1, 2, 3. As I was zoning off so hard during the ending sequence to this match. Oh, like all I seen out of my peripheral vision was the bell ring as Shibata had a sleeper hold in. And I turned my head so fast because I thought Shibata just choked out Jack Perry to win the TNT championship. And I was a little perplexed in that moment. And then I realized, obviously, Jack Perry rolled him back into a pin. And he beat him. So Jack Perry continues his TNT championship reign. And him and Shibata had a match. The
They had a
wrestler
match.
had a match.
That's all you could ever say about him.
Yeah, man, and yeah. So Jack Perry wins, and God, I mean, I can say this about all of the elite guys with all of their belts, but could we please get some sort of fucking story around these
Hmm.
guys and their championships and
Or
uh
fucking feuds and all that shit.
man, I mean something, bro. Something, man. Um Jack Perry attacks Shibata after the match, which then this would lead Daniel Garcia to come out and have a face off with Jack Perry, which sort of makes sense, sort of doesn't. Obviously Daniel Garcia did say on Tuesday that all champions were on the radar. But I mean, looking at these two face off with each other, it didn't necessarily get me out of my seat. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, man, but yeah, I mean, again, I mean, obviously, I mean, it would be cool for Daniel Garcia to eventually get some gold, but I mean, if we could just maybe have some purpose fucking behind it,
Mhm.
then um then that would be nice, because you know, Daniel Garcia could quite literally feud with almost every other champion on the roster, and it would make a little bit more sense than Jack Perry, and him. I mean, from my knowledge, AEW, but genuinely, to my knowledge, I have no knowledge of Daniel Garcia and Jack Perry ever having any type of history with each other, and therefore
No.
it doesn't excite me just because Daniel Garcia said all champions are on my radar. That's all that's fine for you, but that doesn't make it any more interesting for me, man. I'm sorry.
Exactly, man, exactly. I like the idea of this. I just hope they can create a story with this, man. Give us a reason why Garcia chose Jack Perry, have it be a good, genuine, intriguing reason, and build a feud around it, man. So, will they do that? No. Would I hope they do that? Yes, but we'll see how it goes, man. But I like the idea of it. I just hope it gets executed in a good way.
For sure. For sure, man. So Garcia is facing off with Jack Perry, and all of the sudden, man, we see the AEW return of MJF. Obviously, he is back from filming Happy Gilmore 2. And he comes out there, no beard. Bro. Oh man. That that got a chuckle out of me, bro. I can't lie to you, man. That definitely got a chuckle out of me. Um that was odd. So he walks out there with the suit, with no beard. Um, he walks up to Daniel Garcia, faces off with him. Jack Perry hits Garcia in the back of the head with the belt. Well, I guess that's your story. I guess now that's all the AEW fans are gonna need to get this feud kick started. Um, MJF gets on the mic and he reminds Daniel Garcia of what he did to him, and he said, "Hey man, by the way, thanks for letting me know you took my dynamite diamond to a pawn shop in Buffalo, because I found it and now you're gonna kiss it." He grabs the ring from out of his pocket, puts it on his thumb. He goes to hit Daniel Garcia with the ring, and we hear the theme music for Adam Cole. 13 months later, Adam
13 months
Cole.
added.
Yeah, you ain't lying, bro.
You know it.
Adam
Uh,
Cole returns to AEW as a baby face. No Undisputed Kingdom song, no Undisputed Kingdom shirt, no heelness. He is a baby face shaking up with Daniel Garcia, letting him know he has his back. If you're going to do a feud with Adam Cole and MJF, good luck trying to sell to me that Adam Cole was doing the right thing the whole time.
like
Because
the whole fucking point of that feud was that Adam Cole used MJF, finally gains, MJF finally opened up himself to someone, gained his trust and whatnot, and he betrayed MJF. How are you gonna fucking portray it as he's the good guy now and MJF's the bad guy? At the end of the day, when it comes to what those two, encountered with each other, Adam Cole's still the fucking bad guy. And MJF is still the good guy. This is why you don't fucking change people's fucking, you know, um, you know, character before someone comes back. Because now this feud don't make sense. It makes no sense now.
man, again, I'm happy to see Adam Cole
Yeah.
back. But bro, bringing him back in this manner as a baby face, it really goes to show how just utterly stupid everything was. That everything you did was since MJF came back in the main event of Double or Nothing. It goes to show how stupid, or at Double or Nothing. It goes to show how stupid everything was and how stupid everything has been booked since MJF has came back at Double or Nothing. He came back as a babyface. He came back as a
Like,
babyface, and you
and
had him as a babyface for a month. And Adam Cole, you had him come back and hit a Adam Cole that was a heel. You had him attack a heel Adam Cole. And what did the brain buster, did it knock some sense into him? Did it knock Tony Khan's creative capability out of him? I mean, what sense does that make? What sense does that make? And again,
like,
how the fuck are you gonna sit there and try to sell to me that Adam Cole did the babyface act by creating a whole plot around MJF opening up to him just to get together all his ops to turn on him?
just to never use them again, never interact with them again. He dropped them like a bad habit. Like, dog. And first of all, in AEW, I'm not crazy about babyface Adam Cole. I It just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. I like my heel Adam Cole. So I was excited when the feud, first, picked up traction and all that stuff happened. I was like, dope. We're finally going to get heel Adam Cole. We're going to get this different, more baby-faceified MJF. It's going to be great. And now you just completely flipped that on its head, and now it's the most generic thing ever. MJF's the bad guy. Adam Cole's a good guy now because he returned. Why do I care? Why do I care? At this point, I wish they wouldn't. I wish he wouldn't have returned up to MJF. I wish he would have returned heel and did something else.
You might as well not have. You might as well not have had them
Yeah.
return. I mean, with Adam Cole not making a and obviously, we'll see if he does on Wednesday, but if Adam Cole makes absolutely no mention to the Undisputed Kingdom, there's absolutely no reason he needs to be feuding with MJF, because if
Oh,
you were gonna leave the Undisputed Kingdom in the past, you should have left the story with MJF in the past as well, because none of this makes any sense now because of how much Tony Khan does not fucking have a clue on who he wants to play what role.
hmm exactly. He just switches it up on a dime, and it ruins so much story. It just you gotta be patient. You gotta take your time. And that man, we all know he doesn't know patience.
No, he doesn't at all. And he returns as a babyface, and again, I'm happy to see Adam Cole back, but here we are. Adam Cole is a babyface, MJF is a heel. They're probably going to be doing the same shit they were doing before the storyline with each other. As Adam Cole is gonna probably go on to do a bunch of stuff as a babyface that nobody cares about, and MJF is going to go on and be a great heel, but a unnecessary heel, and a unnecessary heel that they turn him back into for no reason. And yeah,
Exactly. Fucking a good booker, injury or not, would have kept the allegiances align
yeah, he
in
would have
some
kept
sort of way.
everything tied together.
Exactly, and he did not. So it is what it is, and he's back. And again, it's great to see him back. I'm happy. I'm really happy he's back. I really am. But I don't care to see this feud. I wish he would have returned to do something else.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, again, we're at a point in this feud where with everything that has went down and all the circumstances surrounding it, you should have at this point, with everything that's gone on, you should have just had them do separate stuff at that.
You might as well. What is Adam Cole gonna say? Yeah, I was an absolute asshole to you, but I'm back, and
But
now
now
you're
you're
an
a dick.
asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now I don't like you because you're an asshole now.
No, like it's ass, dude. It's so ass.
So yeah, that's that. As yeah, Adam Cole is back. He's a babyface again. No affiliation to anything. No mention of anything. And MJF is back, obviously playing the heel character that he was before Daniel Garcia took him out. So I'm assuming we're going to be dealing with this feud now. Um, Way to sell me on how important Daniel Garcia was. You trotted
Yep.
Daniel Garcia out there fresh off of a new contract to face off with Jack Perry, and then have two guys, and then have Tony tell
Keep
you, "Oh,
pushing along.
my two guys are back. Daniel Garcia, you can you can head to the back now. Adam Cole and MJF are
Literally,
back."
literally fucking swept him in a dustpan in that segment and fucking moved on. Good lord. Should have went to WWE already. I'm saying it. He should have.
And Adam Cole fist bumps him. Like Adam Cole's character is anybody to be trusted off of the last time we seen him.
Like
The last time we
fuck
seen
it.
Adam Cole healthy, not healthy, but frequently on television, this guy was playing the devil. And he's out there and he's fist bumping Daniel Garcia. Yeah, man, I got your back.
Yeah. Like oh, it's so bad, dude.
Again, I want to reiterate, I'm happy Adam Cole and MJF are back. It's going to bring a lot more importance to the show. I just wish
Yeah,
things made sense.
because they don't. It's so senseless.
Very. So yeah, that was that. As the International Championship. Ricochet finally comes out with new gear. Oh my god.
Like that.
He was wearing his
Thanks, Racing
trunks.
Steve.
Which the trunks with the football gloves did look kind of silly, but I'd rather the trunks over those long pants that he was wearing, bro. Those just looked ugly, man. Those were ugly as
Right, his
hell.
skin pants on.
Dude,
Literally.
he really did, bro. He really did. So, obviously, man, um, obviously we all knew this was going to be a great match. Obviously we all
Mhm.
knew this was going to be a great match. He does look weird in trunks. I see what you're saying, Logan, but dude, those pants, bro. I just wish he would go back
They're
to the
bad.
tights. I wish he would go back to the long tights that he was wearing in WWE, bro. The pants were ugly as hell, and the trunks did look weird, but they were better than the pants for me. But he's got to take off those football gloves, bro. Those things just look weird on
Dude,
him.
like, dog, what you doing, bro?
So we get some nice back and forth in the opening minutes to the match. We then end up getting a apron Death Valley Death Valley driver from Takeshita on Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay would then hit a Styles Clash onto Ricochet, which was then broken up by Takeshita. Takeshita and Ospreay would have a really cool. They would have a really cool trade off. They would have a really cool strike off and just counter off with these two hitting the ropes and ducking each other, and Will Ospreay walking up Takeshita's face to do a backflip off of him. Um, Very, very, very cool stuff. And this would obviously lead to a fast pace Os Cutter that he would hit on Takeshita, which then Ricochet would immediately come in with a 450 to Will Ospreay. All these guys would then get in a German suplex trade off. I believe it was I want to say it was Osprey, and I think it was all three of them actually that were in a German suplex trade off. Will and Ricochet would then get back into their Poison Rana trade off. which would then lead to a double German suplex while both men were weary as Takeshita suplexed both of them. German suplex both of them. Will Ospreay hit a Hurricane Rana off the top rope to Ricochet. He flew at Takeshita in a roll-up position. Ricochet would hit a shooting star press on Will Ospreay a little later in the match. And right after that, Ricochet would get tombstoned, or like, not really a tombstone, but almost, I don't know if you guys remember Matt Riddle's Bro Derek, that little like tombstone. It's not even a tombstone because he like lays them on their back, but it's like a tombstone position, but you know, you plant them on their back instead of their head. Takeshita, tombstones Ospreay through tombstones Ricochet through a table on the outside. Takeshita would get in the ring to get two hidden blows by Will Ospreay. He would make the cover on Takeshita, and Callis would pull the referee out. He would get in the ring, go to hit Will Ospreay with the screwdriver. Will Ospreay would go to hit the Tiger Driver on Don Callis, and a hooded figure would emerge and hit Will Ospreay in the back of the head with a screwdriver. Who was this hooded figure? Was it Drew McIntyre in a hoodie? Was it Solo Sikoa in his patented black hoodie? No. It was Kyle Fletcher. And so he hits him with a screwdriver. Ospreay obviously looks heartbroken. Takeshita hits Ospreay with a running knee and wins the International Championship. Kyle Fletcher, after the match, hits Will Ospreay with a Tiger Driver. Okay, well, first of all, this match was incredible. This match was very, very good. I love this match, and obviously we all knew as soon as we seen the graphic, we all knew this match was going to be another just masterclass Will Ospreay pay-per-view performance. I thought all men did great. I thought Ricochet did amazing. I thought Ricochet did amazing. I don't want to see him continue to play kind of background player, but I'm going to give him more time. I'm going to give it more time. I'm going to give it a little more time to see how they deal with Ricochet, because obviously now it seems that the feud here, or the focal point, is Takeshita and Will Ospreay. And these fucking people,
They did it.
They have Kyle Fletcher turn on Will Ospreay.
What, dude? Why are you making it another one a permanent singles guy? You have a million of those. Dude, have him in his tag team. You need tag teams. He's better in that role anyway.
See, my question is, what the hell are they going to do when Mark Davis gets back? Is he going to pull a Chris Statlander? Is he going to have a change of heart?
Oh,
is he gonna realize who he is? You fucked up AEW's United Empire. Are you fucking serious, man? I'm sorry. You have way too many fucking singles men to worry about Kyle Fletcher as a legitimate singles guy in the singles division for AEW.
Way too many. Dude, you have so many people you should be putting above him. And you're making him a singles guy for what?
you just re-signed Daniel Garcia, you got Jack Perry, you got Tony Khan's boys, Hologram and Mordas, you have Osprey, Takeshita, you have
And Rouge.
Moxley, everybody in
Yeah.
that circle, Roosh, you got everybody, bro. Eh, I'm sorry, man. I do not see single star in Kyle Fletcher. I never
No,
did, and I'm not saying he can't get there one day. As of right now, I am not buying
not,
into the proto star Kyle Fletcher.
not with,
Who is he?
if this was if this was 2019, 2020 AEW with that roster, I could have believed it. I could have been okay with it. You don't have that small of a roster no more. It's way too big, and he's way too small of a fish to swim in this ocean by himself. I'm sorry.
Yep. And the story here, is it going to continue with Will Ospreay and Takeshita, or is Will Ospreay going to sort of, I guess, abandon this for a story with Kyle Fletcher? I don't know how all this is going to go, but what I can tell you is, as of right now, in 2024, and again, I'm not saying the guy can't get there eventually, I do not see Kyle Fletcher as a major single star in AEW.
Mm. No, I don't.
Decent at best. And they officially do the turn and fuck up what could have been AEW's United Empire, a great faction in the company, to go up against other great factions such as the Hurt Business, such as the Hurt Business, the Jon Moxley group, the Elite. There's a ton of groups that the United
Mhm.
Empire could have went up against, and you fucked all that up. Why Kyle Fletcher didn't eventually pledge his allegiance to his boy Will Ospreay over Don Callis, I have no idea. But how many times do people have to side with Don Callis before their careers go nowhere, and it makes absolutely no sense for them to join the faction?
Literally.
Everybody that has joined a Don Callis affiliated group doesn't go anywhere anyway. So
No.
even if this was the right call, would I ever trust Tony Khan in a million years to follow up on this star-making performance from Kyle Fletcher? Fuck no. This is stupid,
God,
bro.
no. It's pointless, dude. The roster's too big for this to ever fucking work.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't rocking with it. I would have absolutely loved AEW to do the United Empire when Mark Davis comes back with Kyle Fletcher, with Will Ospreay. I would have loved for that to happen, and now we can't do that. And again, in the year of 2024, I'm not seeing anything as a single star for Kyle Fletcher. So,
No.
so that was that, and that was that match, man. And yeah. So the next segment on the show, Swerve Strickland. He returns here tonight at Wrestledream. He comes out after Nana announces him. He comes out and he says he is glad to be back and address his people. He says that he was losing feeling in his back and his arms, and he said it's kind of ironic because I was just making fun of Bryan Danielson for having all those things, and man, isn't karma a bitch? Or he said something along those lines. Something along the line of karma being something. And he says, but through all that, he is officially cleared. We then hear, ahem. No, it was not Aiden English about to sing us Rusev Day. It was MVP. It was MVP, and it was Shelton Benjamin. They come out to the ring. They say hello to Swerve, and they talk. Well, they don't say hello to Swerve. They start talking business with Swerve. Swerve interrupts, and he says, "Whoa! First of all, hello." He then goes on to say that MVP and Shelton and all them, they go way back. They go way back. They wrestled on the Indies a couple years ago. He thanks MVP and Shelton for paving the way for black wrestlers to do what they do in the ring. He says they go way back, and what they said about Nana was right. He lost his house, he lost his championships, but on one hand, he wouldn't have had any of that in the first place without Prince Nana. And he says that there are things about Nana that irk him, such as Nana still selling weed to high schoolers out in the hotel parking lot. So Nana's obviously all embarrassed, and he's he's got his hand over his face. He's trying not to laugh. He says there are things about Nana that do irk him, like selling weed to high schoolers in the hotel parking lots. But most of all, the number one thing I call Prince Nana is family. And I do not turn my back on family for nobody. He gets in MVP's face. He gets right up in MVP's face as Shelton then gets in Swerve's face, and he tells him, look, man, we weren't asking you. We were telling you. So either you are with us or you're against us. There's a huge pull apart that happens before these two actually get to hitting each other. A bunch of refs come out. I think Christopher Daniels came out there and he's fucking screaming, stop, stop, stop. And then Swerve's music hit as MVP was walking up the tunnel and he pointed at his watch. Time's ticking. So I don't know why this was a glorified Dynamite segment, in my honest opinion. The only reason Tony Khan put this on pay-per-view is because they were in Washington State. Swerve is from there. This would have been a pay-per-view segment if you would have had Bobby Lashley come out there and attack Swerve Strickland. But he didn't. And we just had Swerve basically tell these guys no. But I thought personally, man, this was a glorified Dynamite segment, and it was a great segment. It was a great segment. I just, again, the only reason this was put on the pay-per-view is because it was in Washington State, and he wanted to bring Swerve back here. But I thought this segment was tailor-made for Bobby Lashley to come into AEW, and it was not. And that kind of was a little weird. Like I said, I thought that was a little weird as I thought for sure we were going to see him, but I mean, we know we're seeing him. It's just a matter of when. And I thought for sure we were going to see him tonight. Which, like I said, I would have been fine with that making it onto the pay-per-view. But with what they gave us, it was a glorified Dynamite segment.
It was overall. I'm glad Tony Khan's not blowing his load with the
True.
Bobby Lashley debut. I do like that a lot. I like how he's taking his time. And I think if this segment was unannounced like it should have been in the first place, I think it would have felt a lot better. But you announce it, so I'm expecting to see some crazy shit. And no crazy shit happened. So overall, I liked it. I like what it did. I like how it's taken its time. Is it a Dynamite segment? Yeah, but all these are Dynamite stories anyway half the time. So that's what you get when you're on AEW pay-per-view. So I like it. I like how he's taking his time with it for once. I just think it would have been way better if it was unannounced. He showed up, hometown. They went crazy. MVP comes out. They do the exact same thing. It would have been so much better unannounced.
For sure. Because with the announcing of the segment, it makes you think. It just makes you think something big is gonna happen on the segment, not just him telling them no. But yeah, so that was that. And I mean, if you did not put this segment on the show, you would have been able to end this show at about 10:30, other than 11. But with that, we all know if Tony didn't have this on the show, he was just going to put something else stupid on the show. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's pick your poison pretty much. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the segment. Like I said, I did think it was a glorified Dynamite segment. But overall, what they did, the product that they put out, I thought was very good, and the story they told, I thought was very good. As again, they keep talking about how Swerve is the most dangerous man in AEW, and I think that is all building up to the who is going to eventually be the real most dangerous
Mhm.
man in AEW as they bring in Bobby Lashley, and like again as MVP was going up the tunnel, he taps on his watch, and he tells Swerve, time's ticking, he's coming, he's gonna be here soon, and once that happens, you're gonna wish that you were on our side pretty much. As yeah,
It happened.
Hologram versus the Beast Mordas. This match was it was a good match. It was a good match. I mean, obviously, these guys are two great luchadors. It's just nobody cares about these two great luchadors. One of them growls, and the other one is something of a fucking Power Ranger. I don't know quite what exactly he is. The match was good. Again, nobody just nobody cares about these guys, man. Which kind of made it funny that this was on the show to begin with, but Tony believes in Mr. Hologram, and he's running with him, man. I mean, yeah, these guys they put on a very impressive performance, very athletic, very good in ring work, and yeah, I mean they put on good stuff, man. It was just you could you could tell there was a small portion of the audience that was very you could tell there was a small portion of the audience that was into it. A lot of people did not fucking care. Um
Mhm.
and like I said, I mean, yeah, what they did in between the ropes, I mean, it's impressive stuff. It's good stuff as always. It's just who the fuck cares? That's the whole problem here. It's
Mhm.
that's the whole problem here as uh yeah, I mean, it's a Tony it's a Tony Khan. These are two Tony Khan projects that he's trying his
Mhm.
damnedest to get over, and
His damn.
obviously we talked about it yesterday too, and I see Logan commenting about it. But another reason this was on the show is because the whole Fox Sports deal, you know. But yeah, man, I mean, again, stuff in between the ropes was good. Did anybody give a fuck? No. And again, you could just tell, even the people in the live audience, you could tell there was a small portion of the arena that was reacting to this. 90% of the time, everybody was sitting on their fucking hands. I mean, again, I'm sure you got your small amount of sickos that actually are in the arena, but most of them are on Twitter. You know what I mean? And that's where you're going to hear most of your noise for a match like this, because nobody cares except for these sickos in AEW that watch every every tiny piece of AEW content that ever comes out. That is who this
Mhm.
match caters to. But again, even the people in the live audience weren't really reacting to this. When they did a couple high spots, they would react, but like for the most part, majority of your audience did not care, bro. It was a small amount of the arena making any sort of noise for this, even though it was a good match. But again, these guys can run circles around each other. They can have a banger of all bangers for all I care. If I don't care about the two people, if I'm not invested in the story, if I'm not even invested in one of their characters, which in this case I'm not invested in either of their characters, nobody is going to care.
No, exactly. That's the thing. Was it a good match? Yes, but eh, the whole roster can have a good match with each other. So why would I care about these two and their good match against each other? It's a thing where, yeah, are they bad talent? No, it's just th- they're useless talent at the end of the day. They don't give any fire to AEW. And this match was just to please, Fox Sports Mexico and the 20 Twitter accounts on Twitter that call themselves sickos, dude. That's all this was for. And you could tell by the audience reaction that this isn't for AEW fans. This is for AEW sickos, the 20 people that consist of, man. So don't think it's all too successful in Tony Khan's endeavors to get all this, his pet projects over. And I don't think it's going to work because people can do the same thing that these two can in the ring, but with more care. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with guys like these.
I was just gonna say, you have Beast Mordos and you have Hologram, and what are these guys when we have Will Ospreys and we have Ricochets, which are guys that have a connection to the audience? People know about them. People know about, people know about their careers. People have connections to them for whatever reason that may be. Guys like Will Ospreay, man, guys like Ricochet. I mean, there's other guys that do what they do, and again, maybe it's not as flashy as a hologram or as flashy as a Beast Mordos, but these guys have connections to the audience, and I think that goes a lot further than, again, a guy that growls and a Power Ranger. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that's just that's what that is. But yeah, I mean, the match itself was good quality stuff. It was good quality stuff, and I really wanted to hone in on this match, and I really wanted to pay my most attention because of all these sickos, man. I know these are two of the most praised, and I don't watch much of these guys because they're not much on Dynamite. I mean, Mordos is a little bit, but Hologram is almost never on Dynamite. So,
Yeah.
against my better judgment, man, I wanted to actually see what was going on. And I see why you guys say they're great talent, but I also see why this is like every other guy that they try to say is like one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet. They're
Hmm.
again, these two are great wrestlers. I have no care in the world for them because that's all they are. And it's,
Hmm.
again, like I said, it's typical AEW fans singing praises of guys that are just not up to snuff. They're just not, bro. And I'm sorry, but it's just how it is, bro. But I mean, in terms of the in ring quality, I see what you guys are talking about. These two are very good talents. But again, who the fuck isn't a good talent on AEW's roster? Um. So so
Literally, man.
so again, I didn't just want to be one of these guys that comes on here and just rags on these guys because they're Tony Khan pet projects and they look like goofs. Okay, I actually wanted to watch the match and see what these two brought to the table, to see what everybody was talking about. And that's my honest opinion for you guys, man. Great wrestlers. Everybody on that fucking roster is a great wrestler, bro, or 90% of the
Exactly.
people at least. So see what you guys are talking about, and from an in-ring standpoint, from a overall superstar quality standpoint, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. So yeah. Um so Hologram gets the first fall on the Beast Mordos
Hmm.
with a roll-up. He gets the first fall with a roll-up. Mordos would then go on a dominating streak here where he just beat the hell out of Hologram for a pretty long time, man. He dumped him on the stage. Um, he dumped him on the stage um, and hit him. Dragged him in the ring. He hit him with a backbreaker and then a power bomb backbreaker, where Mortos would get the second fall. So now we're tied at one apiece. And Hologram does this really cool move where he he like stands on the guy's shoulders and then does a poison rana. It's really fucking cool. Um
Hmm.
but that was one of my, so from watching my first hologram match that I was actually into. I sort of watched the one on Tuesday, but that show was a blur to me. But for the first hologram match that I really honed in on, that was one of the that was one of my favorite things that he did. He does like this move where he stands on the guy's shoulders and does a poison rana. So that's pretty cool. And um so he did one of those on the apron, and he got Mortos in the ring, and he hit him with a hollow bomb. he
Yeah.
he hit him with a hollow bomb to secure himself the victory and the third fall in defeating the Beast Mortos. What are you laughing at, man? What? Why? Or not laughing? What are you putting your head down about, man? You're not fucking with the hollow bomb.
The hollow bomb. Oh, good lord, man.
I
What
had a
is...
feeling you were gonna love that one, and I wanted to just spring it upon you. I didn't want to give you any sort of warning going into that because I heard that shit on the show, and I said, "Is his finisher named the fucking hollow bomb?" Hilarious.
Hollow bomb. Oh, good lord, yeah. But yeah, it's a good match. They do cool stuff, man. They do. But not only where do you go from here, what do you do with these guys besides put them in matches?
That's all you do. And again, that's why when Twitter talks about these two being fucking superstars and studs on the roster, that's the aspect I do not fucking understand a lick about with these two.
No. No, I really don't.
So, Hologram defeats the Beast TARDIS with the Holobomb. So, that was that. So yes, now I can never be told again, you haven't even watched Hologram or Mortis to give an opinion. You're just saying they suck because you don't watch Collision.
Damn right I don't.
Well, now I've formulated my fucking opinion. And it was pretty fucking spot on to what I thought before any fucking way. So, the next match, Darby Allin versus Brody King. We get a cool Darby Allin video package where he is riding his skateboard to the Tacoma Dome in Washington. It obviously started with him in a skate park, and it was just a cool little video package which ended with him riding his way up to the Tacoma Dome. This match was pretty brutal. It was a short amount of time. They only gave him 12 minutes, but these guys made all 12 minutes count. They built up the story, the angle going into this match of Darby Allin has never pinned Brody King. He's never pinned Brody King. They fought on the indies for years, and he's never pinned him. And Darby, early on in the match, Darby moves up the steel steps to where they're kind of sitting ringside as opposed to sitting up against the ring. Darby runs up the steel steps and gets clotheslined out of midair by Brody King. My bad, not Morda, not the Beast TARDIS. I get him. Me and you get in our funks very easily of picking on Hologram and the Beast Mordos, and it's hard to come down from it.
Bro.
But
it's so hard to.
It really is. They're so easy to make fun of.
Like, dude, Dave's the hollow bomb. Come on, dog.
Bro. I know Tony came up with all of that shit too. Well, maybe it was Jimmy Jacobs, man.
Oh yeah, it's all his fault.
I know Tony was sitting there like, dude, what should his finisher name be? The Hollow Bomb. The Hollow Bomb. And it'll be like a Torture Rack Blue Thunder Bomb. And we'll call it the Hollow Bomb. What about the
It's been one of those
Hollow Bomb?
hologram. Is it the hologram? Like,
Which his
dog.
name was the Black Taurus before. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder where Tony came up with the Beast of Mordos.
Like, what? The Black Taurus was fine. That actually sounds like something like a Minotaur would be named, but like Beast Mordos?
The Black
It sounds
Tardis.
like a fucking like it sounds like a fucking Lord of the Rings villain.
It does.
Like what the fuck? Oh my god, it's the Beast Mordos. He's coming to fucking cast a spell. Like, bro, what the fuck is going on here?
Bro
You
sounds like
fucking
the
playing
like a final boss of like the orcs in Lord of the Rings. Oh my god.
literally.
It's
It's
the final boss of the orcs. It's the Beast Mordos.
so ass, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, Darby Allin did not get clotheslined out of the air by the Beast Tardos. He got clotheslined out of the air by Brody King. My bad. It was not the Beast Tardos again. I reiterate. Brody then grabs the steps, places them on top of Darby Allin, and walks up them. Ow.
Fuck that, dude.
Darby
Ah.
Allin is writhing out in pain, obviously.
Mm.
Because Darby's probably like 110 pounds soaking wet, and here he has this probably almost 300, 400-pound man walking up steps that he's standing on. This goes on for a while. Most majority of the match was Darby getting the absolute piss kicked out of him. So, these two are on the apron, and Darby ends up getting Brody King to fall back onto the steel steps that were placed from earlier in the match when he was stepping on Darby with them. So Brody falls back onto the steel steps. Darby Allin coffin drops Brody, who's on the steel steps. Brody did not move. Most people moved for that spot. Brody stayed. So he gets coffin dropped on the steel steps, and Darby rolls back into the ring, and obviously he's gasping for air because he spent the entirety of the match getting his ass whipped. As soon as Brody rolls in the ring, Darby wastes no time, and Brody's obviously very slow, so he just kind of barely drags himself into the ring because he's hurt, and Darby coffin drops Brody to the back. He coffin drops his back as soon as he gets into the ring, and Darby Allin, for the first time ever, pins Brody King's shoulders to the mat. As Darby Allin wins this match here at Wrestledream, I like the way this goes for Darby's character, especially obviously from what we've seen off the main event. Like I said, I would have been okay if they dragged this out for a little longer and had Darby Allin and had Darby Allin lose to further initiate the story of, him, doubting himself in his quest to become the face of AEW. I wouldn't have minded that. But I like that we're getting him back on track and we're having him do something that he's never done in his entire career, which is pin Brody King. So I like that aspect a lot, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it was very good.
Definitely, man. Great match. Great match. Great matchup between these two. Uh, yeah, it was really good. I like what they did here, man, and I like that Darby one. I think that not only does it fit his, is it going to help him on his story, but it's a really good dynamic for obviously what happened later in the night. To have that moment of victory, and then later in the night, he didn't end the night all too well, even though he won.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Darby Allin beats Brody King here in Darby Allin's Open Challenge match. The AEW World Tag Team Championships. we get a video package of Private Party with the Amazing Red, the House of Glory trainer that's obviously responsible for bringing a lot of New York talent up through the system.
Mhm.
Amazing Red is telling a Private Party they need to stop partying. It's time to grow up. And he's telling them they beat the Bucks back in 2019 on one of the first episodes of Dynamite, and they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball, and they need to get back on their grind, pretty much. And this obviously showed Private Party, training, running up steps, running up bleacher steps, training, working out in the gym, and Amazing Red basically told them, "You guys got the whole school on your back. You guys gotta do this, man." And they come out, the Young Bucks cut a promo on them before the match, telling them that they're never going to be the world champions or whatever. A brawl breaks out. Mark Quinn, before the bell even rings, is jumping off the entrance tunnel. Okay. The match itself, the ending sort of picked up. I kind of felt the beginning here to be very slow. And overall, I mean, it was like I said, towards the end it picked up, man. But my overall interest in this match was pretty low, and it took yeah, it kind of just took a minute to pick up for me. The ending sequence was more so okay, but then when the ending happened, it sort of killed it for me all over again. So my experience watching this match wasn't really all the best. We got a Poetry in
Mhm.
Motion by Private Party, which then was transitioned into a Gin and Juice, which would be kicked out. Private Party then hit More Bang for Your Buck to the Young Bucks. They hit their own move on them. Bucks would get back into control, hit the Private Party would somehow end up on each other's shoulders, and one of them, Quinn, got drop kicked off of Zay's shoulders, and the Bucks would turn this into a TK driver and a senton. They hit a TK driver to Quinn as Isaiah was laying on the ground, and as Nick flipped and hit the TK driver, he basically did a swanton onto Quinn in the process. So it was basically a double move there. They would then hit a EVP trigger, which would then be kicked out from by Isaiah. They would get Quinn on the outside and hit a Doomsday super kick while one of the Matt was standing on the apron and Nick was standing on the floor with Quinn in Doomsday position, which actually I would love to see them do that move more. I thought that was a very cool move with one of them standing on the apron. And there was the EVP trigger, which was reversed into a roll up, which was then kicked out of by Matt Jackson. They would then grab Quinn's arms in a really weird but cool way. They would Matt was standing behind Isaiah, not Quinn. He was standing behind Isaiah, and he would grab his arms and almost put his arms between his legs and flip him up into tombstone position. It looked really cool, and
Hmm.
hit a TK driver to Isaiah Cassidy, and the Bucks win. The ending of the match really picked up for me. I started to enjoy this as we got deeper into the match. Like I said, I was a little about it at first, but as we got into the ending, I started to really enjoy it. And then right as I started to enjoy it, because I thought these guys were starting to cook here, and I thought this was all going to lead to Private Party finally getting the tag belts, the fucking Bucks win. Are they going to do another match? Are they going to wait till they do something in New York? Are they going to save this title win for the Outrunners? What are we gonna do here exactly, bro? And what exactly, other than the fucking Outrunners, who, if it wasn't for them having a strike in popularity, you'd be really fucked here. Because
Oh yeah.
there's nothing other than the Outrunners for them to do. And obviously the Outrunners are a very serious contender to win the titles, but um I honestly wouldn't have complained if Private Party won, because the crowd, after all these years, Private Party still gets somewhat of a decent reaction.
Oh yeah. They're a cool team, dude. They are, man, and they did them really fucking dirty tonight. How are the Bucks gonna say in a promo, a little thing right before the match that they're not gonna win, they're never gonna be shit, essentially, and they still beat them. That's kind of wild. Um, so I'm not a fan of way, everything went tonight. It was a great match, obviously, but man, Private Party should have fucking won, man. Because where do either of these guys go from here?
I don't know.
The dumps.
Yeah, probably so. So that was something that upset me, man. Is I thought you had a really cool story here, with Private Party, realizing that they've done nothing in AEW, and they want to be able to do something. They want to finally accomplish something in AEW. And like Amazing Red was saying in this little opening package, man, you guys got to leave the party, bro. You guys got to put down the drinks. And it showed them walking away from a party and leaving the drinks at the counter and getting to work. And I thought, and Tony's in a very lucky position, man, because Private Party should absolutely be a team that is ascension levels of nobody cares.
Hmm.
And people still seem to care about Private Party. I still care about Private Party when you make them
Hmm.
matter. People will care about them. And you were in a very fortunate position, and it just, it sucks. It sucks, man. But at this point, the had the Outrunners not been a legitimate contender to win these titles, I genuinely don't know who the Bucks would be dropping these belts to. Could it still be
No.
Private Party? It very well could be, but I mean, I don't really know about that. Um, we'll have to see about that going forward. But man, I thought they had a really nice position to drop the belts and to have the Bucks drop the titles here to Private Party. And you didn't do that. And it's crazy to think the Bucks have held those belts for 6 months. It feels like they have had those things for 3 fucking years.
Dude, I swear to God, man. It really felt so goddamn long.
It's felt like they have had and dragged down those titles forever. um Tony Schiavone during this match kept referring to Quen and Zay as Quay and Zay. Quay and Zay.
Way in Zay. Good Lord. Dude. Quay and Zay. What the fuck?
After the match, Isaiah Cassidy's crying because he's distraught that he just lost the match that they really thought they were gonna win. And this motherfucker Tony Schiavone, oh my god, I feel so sorry for Quay and Zay. And I'm like, Quay and Zay? And he just keeps saying it over and over. Oh god, I feel so bad for Quay and Zay. I'm like, Quay and Zay.
Way? Quay and Zay. How do you get both names wrong? Like, what the fuck? I
And
don't know, dude.
Excalibur's trying
I
to
don't.
tell him, you mean Zay and Quen?
Yeah, man. Say like dog. Fuck. Whoever runs that account is goaded.
Uh,
Fucking Tony account.
Whoever runs this Tony Khan account, thank you for being here. You're a legend. That absolutely just made me giggle.
You're great, dude. Fucking keep up the great work. God damn
That's
it, that is
hilarious.
phenomenal.
So, so Um, the next match. Well, speaking of Tony Khan, why the fuck did you book this one? Bro, Chris Jericho versus Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
Um, this one, this one is, this one was, okay. This one was very gimmicky. This one was very gimmicky, man, and obviously we've seen a lot of conglomeration. We've seen a lot of learning tree interferences. Um, there was a call on this. JR,
Uh-huh.
bro, you're one of the goats.
Oh, no.
You really are. And I mean, no disrespect by this, but what the fuck was this call? So the match
Uh-huh.
gets started. The match gets started, and JR says, "Are their styles clashing, or are they molding together?"
Is that even, what are you even alluding to? what, what ailed you to say that? What was, dude, overhaul this goddamn commentary team. God fucking damn. This needs a whole reset. Everybody, just reset them all. Get a whole new fucking team. Nigel can stay. When Taz comes back, he can stay. And that's about it.
Are their
They're
styles
moldy.
clashing or molding together? I'm looking at the screen and I'm saying, I'm sitting there for like a good 5 minutes thinking to myself, what the fuck does that even mean? What? come, come on, man.
Like, dog. Are they molding together? What
Oh. Are their styles molding together?
is that? Are they becoming a tag team? Are they gonna start dating? What do you mean by that?
What the fuck, man? What is this commentary, dude?
Dude, fucking overhaul this goddamn commentary team. Change it up.
Tony Khan, bro, since you're in the chat, hit me on Twitter.
I'm telling
There,
you.
there's two guys here that I think would be perfect for your Wednesday booth on Dynamite. Please,
Hate me so much. Oh, it'd be great.
please. Are their
Good.
styles clashing or molding together?
I think fucking Tony Khan's brain molded together because fucking A.
I shit you not, bro. A solid 5 minutes I was sitting there trying to fucking decipher what that meant before I gave up. Mark Briscoe, like I said, it was very gimmicky. There was a lot of conglomeration, not conglomerate runners, conglomeration interferences, a lot of learning tree interference. Excuse me, learning tree interferences going on outside of the match, not necessarily with Jericho and Briscoe. Mark Briscoe hit a suicide dive on the outside through a table. He hit a froggy bow on Jericho. He then hit a J Driller on Jericho. He wins the match. Who cares, bro? This is ROH stuff that nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a single solitary flying fuck about.
No, literally, man. It's very pointless. And very, very ROH. And ROH means nothing, man. So why was this on the card?
I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea, bro. Um, so Yeah, that was that. Um, and for the main event of the evening, for the AEW World Championship, Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. Well, Bryan is coming out, and Jon Moxley, right before the song's about to say it's the final countdown, John attacks Bryan and they start brawling, but the music is still playing. The music is still playing because Tony Khan wanted to keep it on.
Dude, I knew when they did that little thing, where they keep the music going
Mm-hmm.
while they're fighting. I knew it was curtains at this point. This man was soaking up the last of the fucking final countdown for at least a while, and I knew it. I knew it right then.
100%. 100%. So the brawl starts before the match. The final countdown is still playing. Danielson ends up hitting like a psycho knee or like a drop kick with like a chair, with like a chair on his leg, or like with Moxley holding a chair or something like that. The match gets started very early on. Bryan is doing the yes kicks on the table. Jon Moxley then ends up hitting him with a pile driver on the announce table, as you just see Danielson's neck just crunch. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Fucking
crunch
A.
right on the announce table. As they get done, Jon Moxley swipes the headset off of Nigel's head. And I thought this was interesting because are we going to eventually see Bryan, you know, are we going to eventually see Bryan and Nigel, maybe as allies?
I think I could see it. I think it's gonna be a thing where Nigel sees them taking it too far, and he's like, "All right, I'm an asshole, but I'm not that bad." So, this ain't right. I could definitely see something like that.
For sure. And Mox is stepping on he puts Bryan's head on the steel steps and he's stepping on his neck while his head is up against the steel steps, and he tells Marina Shafir to take off the padding on the outside of the ring. He takes Bryan over there to give him a pile driver, and he ends up getting backdropped as Jon Moxley onto the concrete. Bryan
Mhm.
then goes up on the top rope. Moxley stops him, and while he's got him down on the top rope, he starts taking off his kinesio tape, and he bites his back. He bites his back, or like I guess like his shoulder blades, around where he had the kinesio tape. Bryan eventually gains offense, throws Moxley off of him, goes for a diving headbutt. He misses, and Moxley hits Bryan with a stomp.
Hell yeah.
These guys get into a trading strikes, trading punches. Danielson, these two are going so fast. They're hitting each other with lefts and rights and lefts and rights and lefts and rights. Danielson then loses strength in his right arm, which is a stinger. It's, when it
Yeah.
stems from neck problems, you lose. So he goes to throw a hit and he can't move. He can't move his arm, and his arm just completely loses strength as he kind of, wanes down a little. He kind of falls down a little. He gets a little weary. He then gains back control and he starts doing yes kicks. I was very nervous when he was doing these yes kicks because he talked about in the match with Okada, he lost feeling in his legs while doing these yes kicks. So I was very nervous watching him do these. He then he then goes for a Busaiko knee. Marina Shafir holds his leg. Marina then gets ejected from the ringside area. Bryan goes to do his Busaiko knee, and he runs into a cutter from Jon Moxley. Um, John goes for a German, which then gets rolled through. Bryan finally hits that Busaiku knee. He kicks Jon Moxley's head in, and he's got him in the yes lock. Moxley grabs the rope with his leg. Bryan, or Moxley then rolls out of the ring. Bryan goes for a tope. Jon Moxley counters him in midair. He grabs a double underhook on him and hits him with a Death Rider on the exposed concrete. It was that butterfly Death Rider too, where he like tosses him up in the air and holds him there for a second.
Yeah.
So Moxley gets Bryan in the ring. He's got him in a sleeper. Bryan gets up by using the ropes, climbs the ropes, falls back onto Moxley. He falls back onto Jon Moxley, thus breaking the hold. He then rolls back, rolls off of the sleeper, hits another Busaiku knee into a kick out. Jon Moxley hits a Death Rider a little bit later, which kept Bryan down for a 1 count. Bryan gets pissed. He spits in Jon Moxley's face. Now this is where you place spitting in the face. Once a night. Not on 2 matches. Once. In something that means it. Because all this match, Jon Moxley is literally targeting his injury and trying to paralyze this man damn near. So he calls for Bryan to actually spit in his face because he has a legitimate beef with Jon Moxley. He spits in his face. Jon gets pissed, hits Bryan with a Gotch-style pile driver, immediately rolls Bryan into a sleeper hold, and the dragon fades away. As Bryan Danielson was fighting at first, and then he loses his posture as he goes out. As Bryce Remsburg, I actually love the way Bryce sold this. Bryce calls for the bell, and you could just see the soul just drained out of him. And he's so sad, and he grabs the AEW championship, and as he kneels down to grab it from the timekeeper, as the timekeeper walks it up, he just stays there for a minute. Just stays, like, just down, like, on his knees, just down on the ground holding the AEW championship. He couldn't even give it to Jon Moxley yet because it was a sad moment. It was a sad moment. And I actually like that they let, like, you know, AEW lets their referees show personality like that. I think that's a very nice touch.
I think so. I think it really adds a lot.
And it adds to the moment of it being sad, not the commentator fucking crying. So Moxley and the group, the BCC, come out. Claudio has a duffel bag. Moxley hands him the championship, but before he can put it in the duffel bag, Yuta and Darby Allin come out to help. Wheeler Yuta is attending to Bryan as Darby is standing out there with a steel chair. Darby turns around to a fucking Busaiku knee from Wheeler Yuta. I fucking knew it. I knew it.
Oh yeah, it was obvious, dude, and I really like what they did right after. I loved Yuta's body language of all this. It was really good. It was really fucking good.
Yes, Wheeler obviously did not want to do this, and why he's doing this is the whole lure to this Jon Moxley group and why this is captivating television. Nobody fucking knows what they're talking about. Nobody knows what Jon Moxley's talking about. And he keeps talking during the match, and in like just in-ring dialogue, you just keep hearing him say, I'm so sorry I had to do this. I wish I didn't have to do this. You know,
Love it, dude.
so he hits Darby with a Busaiku knee. as Wheeler is just distraught himself. He does not want to be doing this. They tie Darby up with tape. Jon Moxley grabs the plastic bag as Wheeler Yuta is made to suffocate Bryan Danielson himself. Wheeler, obviously, a lot of just very distraught. Wheeler is suffocating Bryan Danielson, as you can hear Darby begging Wheeler Yuta to stop. Private Party and Jeff Jarrett come out to help. Claudio puts they obviously attack those guys, take care of them. Claudio puts a chair around Bryan's neck and does a curb stomp to Bryan Danielson on the chair. Ugh. At this point, the whole locker room starts to empty out. I'm talking Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Adam Cole was out there, Hook. All these guys come out there as Pac puts the world title in the duffel bag as they all run off through the crowd. That's very interesting. It's almost like this belt isn't even Moxley's. As soon as he got it, he handed it to Claudio to put in the duffel bag. And then obviously they didn't get the chance to because of all the other shit that was going down. But that was cool. And it was almost like some sort of robbery went down.
Yeah, it was like a heist. Like they stole the belt. Like they're taking it somewhere. They're taking it to someone. They're taking it to the guy they did the heist for, dude. It's very weird.
He's gonna come in and immediately be AEW champ.
Oh God, but it's really interesting. I wonder what they're gonna do with it. Does this mean we're gonna get like a new AEW title? Is this what it's leading to? Are we gonna get? I have no idea what it's leading to, but it's interesting and it's fucking cool as shit. And this is how you do interesting, cool fucking television, man. But really liked it, dude. I liked all the. I really like the weird, mysterious vibe that this group has going on. That they don't want to do this, but they have to for some reason, and they have to so much to where Yuta even joins in, and he's fucking choking out Bryan Danielson with a plastic bag while crying and shit. Like, dude, it's fucking interesting.
Yes, and this is sorely what AEW needed. Logan, if Eric Bischoff got a job,
I'm done, bro.
I don't
I'm
know
done. I'm
about
done.
that, bro.
I'm buying WWE stock. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Oh, that would be horrible, bro. That would be fucking horrible, man. That man was horrible at doing business, from what we know.
Only a shareholder, cause fuck that.
Man, yeah, this is interesting, and this is exactly what AEW television needed. They needed something they could hang their hat on to the point where you go into a Dynamite saying, whoa, I gotta see what happens with this Moxley storyline. And we do have that with the Moxley storyline, but I just wish it was like that with more storylines. Because
I wish most of the show was this.
there's a lot of storylines where, and we say the same thing with like SmackDown, where I want to be excited about something other than the Bloodline. And obviously now we're sort of getting that with now interesting stuff going on with all this Cody Rhodes storyline and all this type of stuff. You know, how Monday Night Raw has been for the better part of the year. I want to see what's going on with Drew McIntyre and Punk, but I also want to see what's happening with Bronson Reed. I want to see what's happening with the New Day. I want to see what's happening with Braun Breaker. I want to see what's happening with Sami Zayn, and I want to see what's happening with Jay. And there's multiple interesting things on the show. AEW needs this. Now they just need to build around it because they have it, and it's great. And this Moxley storyline is going great. Now all they have to fucking do is build around it and build more interesting things around this. But as far as this goes, this was amazing. Like I said, Jon Moxley, it's almost like he didn't even win the championship tonight. He immediately handed the belt to, I wish we could see what's going on with the fucking Wyatt 6 too.
Telling you.
John, like I said, it's not even, it's like he didn't even win the championship tonight. He immediately won the championship, handed it to Claudio to put in a duffel bag like it's a heist. That is
Mhm.
interesting shit, cuz now that's one of the main things on everybody's mind. Why the fuck did you put the title in the duffel bag? Where are you bringing it? Who is it for?
Yeah,
And immediately you pop up all these questions, and all these questions pop up. That is intriguing television to me, and that is the kind of stuff I like to see. And I'm really rocking with that, man. I really like what they did there, and I thought it was done beautifully. This ending segment, I thought it was done beautifully. Um, as Brian got exactly what Moxley told him he was going to get. He was going to get to die a hero's death, die on his own shield in his backyard, and to be buried beautifully and peacefully. It was a sick promo he did the other week. That is exactly what ended up happening to Bryan Danielson. And obviously, that's a whole nother component. And obviously, we thanked Brian for the amazing full time run and open to the show. But obviously we know Brian's going to be back in some capacity, whether when he
mhm.
gets done dealing with what he's got to take care of, and obviously he's going to be back as a part-time Brian Danielson, and he's going to, he's going to be back as a part-time and a special attraction. But as for the Moxley storyline, they have done a great job again, and that is why this is one of the only things on Dynamite that's actually really, really, really good stuff right now and really jumps off the pages, because there are so many questions. And it's not so many questions to the point where it insults your intelligence. It's questions that are good questions to have because you want to continue to watch and invest yourself in the story.
Exactly. It's great questions that you want to ask when you're watching anything. Damn, what's their goals, man? Why are they doing this? I'm intrigued. All this shit, dude. It's interesting, good stuff, man. And I saw some people were like kind of were upset that it's Brian's full-time retirement. Why didn't he get like a standing ovation? Why couldn't he thank the crowd? First of all, it's Brian Danielson. He probably doesn't want to do that anyway. He would much rather do what he did tonight and put over something, put over someone, put over a group, put
Exactly.
over an idea, over himself. Um, and it's not even his full-time retirement. Well, it says full-time retirement. It's not a full retirement. He'll be back, and that fucking pop is gonna be insane. So I'm excited, dude. I think it did all well. I think they did all the right things with this man, and I'm intrigued. I'm really fucking intrigued. I cannot wait to see where this goes, man. And everyone did phenomenal in this main event. Even the little spot, obviously, the whole roster came out. Jeff Jarrett was there, dude. I think when he fell out the ring, he like fell on his face, and hit the
Oh
concrete.
yeah.
Because as he was over fucking Brian, he's got like a fucking gash on his face and he's bleeding, and it makes it even look even sicker because you got this motherfucker bleeding up top of him trying to help him, and he's bleeding. It was super fucking cool. The final shot of Darby, just
Oh
wallowing what
yes.
happened that he couldn't save him because in a way, kayfabe wise, this is partially Darby's fault. He took that spot with Mox. He took that opportunity. He lost it, and it resulted in this. So in a way, kayfabe wise, it's partially in a way on Darby, and it's gonna eat at Darby, and it's doing so much. This is how you do storytelling. This is what we need the whole show in, where it's telling a story that connects with this person to this person and this thing they did and that thing. It's great. This is what we need. Way more of. This is what
Yes.
top to bottom this show should be filled with.
Bro, yes, and obviously this obviously builds so much, and it's going to build upon the story of it's going to build upon the story of just Darby finally getting to beat Jon Moxley. It's going to build on that so much, and it's going to make that moment so special because of everything that's happening here today. And everything's happening, with the involvement of their storylines, bro. And also, too, when it's time for Jon Moxley to put Darby Allin over for the World Heavyweight Championship, you know, Darby might need some help with the outside distractions. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be an absolute epic moment hearing Seek and Destroy as Sting takes care of the rest of the fucking guys while Jon Moxley puts over Darby Allin, and then Sting eventually celebrates with Darby Allin after winning the world title. It's going to be a great moment, and I think they're going to do some really cool stuff here with Darby, with Mox, and I think it's ultimately going to be something very, very cool. What was one of my gripes with this is, bro, I get Excalibur is trying to sell the story, but bro, Excalibur crying as they're going
Wait a
off the air. Dude, if you listen to the ending of Wrestledream with the TV muted, it looks epic. It looks epic. You see this fucking fallen warrior who just died on his home soil. In the middle of the ring, he's getting stretchered out. And you see this up-and-coming guy who is putting all the blame on himself, and he's sitting on the outside of the ring watching all this in just sadness. It looks epic on mute. But when you take that off mute, all you hear is this fucking bozo Excalibur. You hear this on the mic.
Dude,
And I'm thinking,
sniffling,
and I'm like, and I'm hearing this sniffling, and I'm like, is that somebody in the house that I'm in? Is somebody sniffling? Or like, is that commentary? And then all of a sudden, I just fucking hear, I can't fucking believe. Well, they did say, he goes, I can't believe what these individuals did tonight. And I'm like, is he fucking crying? Bro.
He had the commentator crying. Dog, fire him, bro. That shit was ass, dog.
Oh, God.
You had. Where's Brody when you need him, man? Are you fucking crying? You
Dude.
fucking crying, dog? It's like, come on. Get the fuck out of here. That part completely killed the movie for a couple seconds. I was like, oh my god. But other than that,
if there was anything that he could have done that would have been funny, it obviously is Excalibur's sad voice, which I think was appropriate for this, which even that is funny. I did not imagine there would be something downright hysterical. And I hear this motherfucker on the commentary headset sniffling and fucking crying.
bro, legit sniffling, bro.
Like, legit,
Like,
I'm
dog.
hearing these sniffles, and I'm like, who is making that noise? And then I just, I can't believe these people, what they did tonight. I'm like, is that fucking Excalibur crying, bro? And I was like, I get you're trying to sell the story, but bro, that downright killed the mood so hard because I just started fucking laughing.
He's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. First of all, his acting is dog shit.
Oh, it was horrible. That was the best part.
Crying. I don't want a commentator to cry. Maybe they could have some watery eyes. You could to like Nigel, and even he could have some like watery eyes a little bit. You got something there, but dude, fucking sniffling into the mic, dog. Come on, bro. That shit killed it.
Dude, at the very least, I think what you could have done with Excalibur that would have been very nice is maybe you could start to hear his voice crack. Maybe he's about to cry and you just hear him put his headset down. And then on Dynamite, you could have him apologize for, just in a brief moment in the opening to Dynamite, you could just have him apologize for walking out. He just got too emotional and he couldn't handle what he was watching and he had to walk out.
But you had this man full blown crying,
bro,
in the mic. Like, dog.
I can't believe what these people did tonight.
I can't believe what they did tonight. Yeah, bro.
Fuck. Oh, God. That was fucking hilarious, dude. That was fucking actually hilarious. That was my only gripe. It completely killed the mood. It was such a beautiful visual of the way Darby was looking, and obviously Danielson is in the ring, and the Dragon has just been just compromised, bro, to a permanent end. Um, bro, and you fucking have Excalibur crying. So
Uh,
again, if it was a beautiful visual on mute. It was a beautiful visual on mute, but bro, um hearing him cry just completely killed the mood. I would have just rather that you just hear his headset hit the table and that's it. We just don't hear the rest of him,
mhm.
or have the commentator stay silent because it's supposed to be a dark, eerie moment. You're just supposed to have silence.
Literally.
Nobody can even get words out for what's happening right now. So I would have liked that much better, but otherwise I thought they did the ending angle to the show tremendously. And overall what I thought was a decent show here for AEW. They obviously don't turn out a bad pay-per-view. I just hope we can come
No.
out of this pay-per-view and start having good television. And now, being that Jimmy Jacobs was the problem, according to all these AEW fans, I'm going to be keeping a very keen eye on this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite episode. And it should be very interesting. And I'm very excited to go over that with all of you guys, which obviously should be on not this Monday's unscripted, but next Monday's unscripted. I'm very interested now
Mhm.
that the problem is gone, according to AEW fans. I'm very excited to see what Tony Khan has up his sleeve now that the dastardly Jimmy Jacobs is gone, per the sickos.
That somehow fucking made Dynamite ass for 2 years under Tony Khan's nose.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, that is that's everything. That's everything here today for the Wrestledream review. As once again, another absolute banger review here today for you guys, man. As the next time you guys will be catching us will be Crown Jewel on November the 2nd. Actually, I guess this is a good time to say this. The Crown Jewel review, as far as today, more than
More than likely,
likely,
yeah.
yeah, more than likely, you know, more than likely will end up being a solo review by yours truly. So I should be running that one solo, as
Yeet.
just schedule differences for Sir K. We don't think he's going to be able to make that one as of right now. So the next time you guys will be catching NHP on the post show review will be in about 3 weeks here on November the 2nd for Crown Jewel. So yeah, excited about that, and hope you guys are too. Like I said, should end up being a solo review. So it won't be the both of us, but you will be getting me on the review if you guys are interested in that. But yeah,
Mhm.
man. So yeah. So other than that, I thought Wrestle Dream was a good show. I just hope AEW can come out of this show and we can start getting good AEW shows every week as opposed to once a month, or once a pay-per-view season, or whenever they do a pay-per-view, I mean. But yeah, man, so that was it for your Wrestle Dream review. Like I said, we always turn out bangers for the post-show review, and we hope you guys did enjoy the review. And with that, that is gonna do it for this edition of your Wrestle Dream 2024 review. As yeah, that is gonna do it, and it is always, always, always a pleasure for my Johnny.
Nice, okay.
And that is going to do it for this edition of NHP. Another edition, well, the first edition actually of the Wrestle Dream post show review, another edition of an AEW post show review. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all on Monday with Unscripted.
Peace.